So what makes a horseman?
Good hands and balance, those are the most important things. If a jockey sits in the wrong place on a horse, either too far back or too far forward, they hinder the horse. I mean, John Franklin was a lovely rider.
Could you explain good hands to kind of a layman?
Good hands means that when a horse jumps, it likes to stretch its neck a little bit. And if jockeys have what are called bad hands, they will grab hold of the reins too much and stop the horse being able to stretch its neck and use its back.
Well, that's linked to balance, isn't it? Really?
Linked to balance. So therefore the jockeys would be relying on their hands rather than being part of the horse and balanced with the horse. I think a lot of it is natural. Right. And if I were to jump all these horses today in a jumping school loose, they'd all be different styles. You can't create your own style. It's inborn, but you can develop it. Teaching them to get balance, doing a bit of what we call flat work with them in our arena, hacking them out and getting them learning to gallop and jump, a lot of jumping, which when the weather's right, they go up to the loose jumping school and then the jockeys come in. I'm very lucky that when we do the jumping, I have some top jockeys, professional jockeys that come in and help me, and they actually do the jumping outside. Terry had a wonderful expression which is so true, and he always used it for jockeys: let the fence come to you, and then the horse could work it out. Right. So often you see the jockeys override into a fence and they'll push the horse out of their stride. When I was doing my eventing life, which I did a bit of, I used to go to a very, very good Swedish trainer called Lars Sederholm. And this thing about staying in your stride, he used to put 4 single poles on the ground, and he had the riders he was teaching to run over these poles on the ground. And if they were right spaced, if you were just trotting along or running along and you met them right, everything was perfect. Then he'd say, go quicker, go quicker, go quicker. And if you went too quick, you got totally confused and you got on top of the poles, you made mistakes, even 4 little poles on the ground. It was really interesting.
So true, yeah.
And it's exactly the same with horses. If you suddenly put them out of their stride, if they're in a rhythm, you must get into a rhythm. And if a horse is not in the rhythm, and the jockey's not in that rhythm with the horse, then you get the mistakes. We start off the horses, we start off them in the loose jumping school, over poles on the ground, and then we build them up and they jump everything loose for probably 4 or 5 times. And then sometimes the riders jump them up there as well. And then they come down here, and there's a little paddock there where they start over little telegraph poles and logs and motor tyres. And then we bring them up here and we go up a little line of cross-country jumps up there, which are they're solid, but they're very inviting. And there's 7 of them up there, and the horses love going up there. They usually have the lead horse. And once they get their confidence there, then we start with the hurdles. Ideally, you have a fairly enclosed space, because then it concentrates the horse's mind. If it's too on just open fields, like when you saw the horses on the gallops, they don't concentrate what they're doing. And if you're doing something like teaching them to jump, it's like them being in school. They've got to realise that's the job at hand.